Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 3-0 Take, where we talk all things Major League Baseball. Here's Kyle Corwin and Nate Reyes. It all starts right now.
Welcome back to the 3-0 Take, presented by SeatGeek. This is episode 431. I'll be your host, Kyle Corwin. I'm here with my co-host, Nate Reyes. And Nate! I had some other things in mind that I wanted to talk about, but the Pittsburgh Pirates said, nay, it's time to call up the Paul Skenes this Saturday, May 11th. Fresh off of a 45 strikeout, 0.99 ERA, 0.91 whip, in 27 1/3 innings pitched across minor league baseball, Paul Skenes is set to make his long-awaited debut for the Pittsburgh Pirates this Saturday against the Chicago Cubs. Nate, can you recall a more anticipated debut?
Not in the old black and yellow. It's been a long time. I mean, debut-wise, is it weird to go back to Harper? Is it weird to go that far back?
No.
I don't think that's crazy, is it? I don't know, man. I don't know. Especially with I think the biggest thing is we got the build up, we knew the name, and then the College World Series, and just maybe certain fans that are not as deep into the college baseball scene got to, get some exposure and see what he's about. I think it just built the hype up even more. I don't know, man. All things have just looked real good. Real good.
Yeah, this is one of those very, very rare scenarios where you didn't have to wait long. The turnaround was so quick.
This is a quick turnaround. A quick turnaround.
I would argue not quick enough, but that's not for me to decide.
Right.
But I've seen some posts going around talking about how the Pirates were just waiting for Livy Dunn to wrap up her time at school, and I believe the gymnastics season is wrapping up. I almost
coincidence. I don't know.
I had to think about it. I almost prefaced this segment by saying that Livy Dunn's boyfriend was set to make his debut this weekend, but I figured that wouldn't.
There are certain people in the world that see it that way.
That would hit for some people. I'm certain of it. But alas, here we are.
Yeah, it's big time. Big time. Look, just been lights out, dude. I love the quick turnaround, like you said. Stuff plays, you know what I mean? And he's dominated. Everything we've seen from him has been domination. Mustache game is on point. All of it's cool. I don't know. Did I ever tell you the weird connection I have with him? It's a really strange, an off connection, not directly to him, but.
Are you about to tell me you're related to Paul Skenes?
That'd be nice. No, before he was at LSU, he was at Air Force. And the pitching coach over at Air Force, he's still there. His name's Ryan Forrest. Ryan Forrest was one of my summer ball coaches in high school before he started coaching at Air Force. So a little cool. Like when you see the video of Skenes going 1 overall in the draft, Ryan is standing like right behind him in like an Air Force polo. It's pretty cool. So basically, I had a big part in what Paul Skenes is now and what he's going to be. It all started with me.
You are Paul Skenes, is what I'm hearing.
We're the same size. We throw the same, speed. It's just.
You both have mustaches.
There you go. There you go.
So looking ahead to this career that lies ahead of Paul Skenes, what do we foresee happening? Because we talked about it at length over the last few weeks with the delay in him getting up, the decision to keep him down at the AAA level. And so we talked about, like what's eventually going to happen with this anyway, given that it's the Pirates. Like if this was any other team, it'd be like, okay, we could talk about this guy being a cornerstone here for a long, long time. But it's the Pirates, and I'm not trying to get ahead of ourselves here, given that he hasn't even thrown a pitch at the big league level yet. But like for Pirates fans, for example, is this something that they can get excited about long term, do we think? Or do we foresee this guy being dealt as early as his value will allow him to?
It's all the alignment. It's all the alignment. Like it. You got to think this is different. You got to hope that this is different. I mean, like me as just a baseball fan, I do hope it's different. But it's the alignment of stars, man. It's like the roster has to be in good shape, and it seems like it's starting to develop a little bit. There's guys that are signed there long term. You have like let's be honest, he has potential to be an ace. And we've talked about this multiple times on the show. And if this is your first time listening, we have a definition of ace and a number one starter, right? And there's only a handful of aces in the league. Not every team has an ace. He has the stuff to be an ace. And I'm a huge fan of what Mitch Keller has been able to do last year coming into this year. He did get extended, right? So to me, he is a 1-1. He's not in that ace territory for me, but it's nice to be able to transition into this where like not all, eggs are put into Skenes' basket. There's talent around him. There's enough hype. I'm assuming tickets are flying right now, right? Like they're getting sold out like crazy.
Dude, okay, for real, just a little tangent here.
Yeah, get this out of the way. I know you got something to say about that.
Did you see it?
Yeah.
I'm pissed, dude.
It's a tough look. It's a tough look.
That's hey, okay. I tried, okay?
You did.
All right, so the news breaks. Sorry, not to go into like full-on story time in the middle of your point here, but just a quick tangent. The news breaks, and for some strange reason, my mind immediately goes to, oh, you should snag some tickets. Maybe give them away. Mm-hmm. Because, rarely does something like this happen. Again, going back to one of, if not the most highly anticipated debuts in a long, long time, this doesn't come around every day. So I go, let me snag some tickets. Snag some tickets. I tried to snag some tickets initially, and it kicked me out. And so I was like, all right, well, let me go back in, try it again. Price has gone up just ever so slightly. I was like, all right, we're still good. I'm going to go in and snag some tickets. Completed the purchase. And then I get an email. I put out the tweet. I was like, hey.
And the tweet followed the purchase confirmation.
Correct.
Like you followed the correct steps.
Yeah. I wasn't like, hey, I've got 2 tickets and I went to go seek out tickets. No,
right.
Tickets. I had placed the order. I thought I had tickets in hand, but you know how these things work.
Yep.
And I get an email after I'd put out the giveaway tweet being like, "Hey, I got some tickets. Tag whoever you think deserves them, and I'll pick a winner on Friday." And whoever won, I would have sent the tickets to. They could have taken a buddy. They could have taken their mom, their dad, whatever. I was like, let's make somebody's day. Shortly after I send out the tweet, people start engaging. They're like, "Oh, tagging this fan, tagging that friend, that family member, blah blah blah." Mm-hmm. I get the email that says, "Sorry, those tickets sold minutes before you purchased them." I was like, "What does that even mean? How do you sold the tickets to me? What do you mean the tickets were sold minutes before they were sold to me?" It's like a human being. You can't be in two places at once. How can these tickets be in two places at once? If I purchase them, who else purchased them?
It's a tough scenario. Not to name names, but do we have a relationship with this organization?
No. So that's the good thing. That lesson learned.
So never. Basically, the lesson is you have to use SeatGeek.
The point is, and people go, "Well, hold on. Like, if you guys are promoting SeatGeek all the time, like, why are you using other vendors?" It doesn't necessarily benefit.
Valid question.
Fair, but personally, for me, especially when I'm like trying to be speedy and trying to save a little bit of money, like you would as a baseball fan seeking tickets, you're going to use our promo code, and that's how you save money. But for me, I've already used the promo code, and as we well know, according to Nate's philosophy, you can't. You can try to switch emails and
I don't know. Does Rookie have an email? Because
I could use my golden retriever's email if he has one. I'll ask him about that when I hop off here.
Let me know.
But anyway, lesson learned: only use SeatGeek. But yeah, that was the bummer of the day. I try to make somebody's day, and
so are they sold out? Is the stadium?
That's a good question. Let's
jam packed. While you look that up, I will finish my statement of saying I think this is different. I'm just gonna put my foot down. I think things are different. I know the organization, I guess the fan base isn't exactly happy with the ownership. We see the famous like pictures and stuff of the kid with the sell the team shirt taking a picture with the owner. Like we understand the category they fit into in the past, but this is gotten to a point where it's almost forcing the owner's hand, right? Like your organization has developed, has signed, has grown this core that could very much compete, and sprinkle in some free agent moves at some point during this window, and you could see a run. So I think it'd be a large mistake, a very hefty large mistake to not lock this guy down long term and make him a Pirate, dude. Like, just make him a Pirate. Like, build around this. Make this organization go. Do what you need to do. What are you finding?
I might try.
You might do it. Are you gonna do it right now?
I'm gonna try to do this.
I like this.
I need to rectify the situation here. I made a promise and I couldn't follow through, so I need to nail this down. And on O'Neal Cruz T-shirt day, talk about a day for Pirates fans, man! Congratulations! You all deserve this.
All right,
this is big.
Okay. Are you selecting? Are you going to reveal like where the seats are? Can you keep that a little? Is this a surprise?
I tell you what. Do you have some thoughts on whether or not you think the Pirates are turning the corner with the? I mean, you kind of just went into it a little bit, but can you provide?
Are you needing me to stall? Is that what you're needing?
Yeah, that's basically what I was getting at, because I need to go. I need to go. If I'm gonna do this for the people, if I'm gonna be doing this giveaway, I'm gonna have to follow through
you
get the credit cards. So
you do you, Poppy.
If you can do that, I will be right back. In fact, hey, while I'm gone, maybe give a prediction for how you think Skenes' day going to go. It's only probably going to be like 50 pitches if we're being honest, but give a prediction maybe on what you think his outing will be.
All right, that's fair. All right. I don't know if it's just going to be 50 pitches. I think that's unfair. I think that's, I mean, he's clearly like built up. I mean, he's got a number of starts in the minor leagues. So like, I don't understand why we would have to manage a pitch count like that. Look, like I said, this core can do something if they continue to build. If they continue to put this together, you have youth, like you have an O'Neal Cruz, you have Ke'Bryan Hayes, who does need to get over the hump, but kind of off to a little bit of a slow start this year, but still, like, there's a lot of promise. Crazy talent with the glove over at third, but there is some hope around this, I think. Dang, I didn't realize Ke'Bryan Hayes is already 27. All right, so less time than I thought. We need to pick things up then. Let's get it going a little bit. O'Neal Cruz, we already know, crazy talent. Ke'Bryan Hayes has it in there somewhere. I'm just waiting for like the breakout to come through. Brian Reynolds, I don't know the whole thing there. I'm sure he's kind of lost some fans at this point. He's said some weird stuff. He's kind of acted a little weird. He's wanted out of town, but like now he's still there. I don't know. He gives me, I don't know why Brian Reynolds gives me Anthony Rendon vibes. Is that okay to say? I think that's okay to say. It's a little bit of like a cuss word in our,
Brian Reynolds? You're comparing Brian Reynolds to Anthony Rendon?
Like attitude wise. Like I get that vibe, and what I mean? I don't know. I don't know.
That's tough.
I know, but like it's just been weird. It's like a weird relationship. Yeah, there's a lot of promise, dude. There's a lot of hope around this. And I think it'd be a very smart time to sell. If you're really not wanting to stick around and not be the owner of the future, your stock has probably never been higher than it is now. So find a way to keep this together. Find a way to build around Paul. And don't let this be like a quick little flash in the pan, short window. But it does take there needs to be another step forward in this offseason. Like you have the core pieces that you can work around. Some of them are extended. Maybe you could have a couple more extensions thrown out there, but there needs to be like that next step. In reality, I can't imagine what star or veteran wouldn't want to play for like this hungry of a fan base, this loyal of a fan base in a ballpark that's, I don't know, in my mind, a top 5 ballpark in baseball. So I need it. I need the Jolly Roger to be raised on a regular occurrence moving forward. I need the window to open up. And I need this owner to double down or get out, sell. Maybe give me, like the Rubenstein situation. Is there another owner out there that's like that, where the Orioles have all of this talent and the stock is high, they sell, and now it's just flourishing? Like, can the Pirates get there? I think there's names on the roster that allow them to get there. They just got to build on it. Just got to add some more names. So, make a pitch. Make a pitch to some free agents this offseason and see what you can do. Give me a little something. Jerseys are too clean to not be worn by some superstar,
That's a fact.
So, what do you got, pal? You locking it down?
All right.
Is it done?
Saturday, May 11th at 4:05.
Eastern.
Eastern Standard Time.
Never know. Might snag somebody on the West Coast that needs to make a flight out.
All right, look, here's the deal. It said waiting for the seller to confirm the order. So here we are in the same situation. We're going to figure it out, hopefully. We're going to try to rectify the situation. So hopefully we'll have 2 tickets to give away for Paul Skenes' debut on Saturday, May 11th. Did you give a prediction on how you think he's going to do?
Official prediction, I think he's ramped up. So I think he has some flexibility with the number of pitches he's going to throw. I would say give me against the Cubbies. I'm going to say 6 2/3. 1 earned run, 1 walk. I'm going to go 7 Ks.
I'm going to give him. You said 6 2/3.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give him a 5. I don't think he's quite ramped up as we might hope. And even if he is, even if the discussion is that he's ramped up behind closed doors, I don't think they're going to let him eat as much as we want him to. They're still probably going to take a little bit easy. I'm going to give him 5. I think even with as good as he is, I think nerves are going to get to him a little bit. I think he's going to labor deep into some counts. So even if he does get up to 75, 80, I think he's gonna maybe top out of 5. I'll give him 2 runs and 5 Ks. It's going to be a somewhat mediocre of a debut, but anticipated nonetheless. That's going to be appointment television. I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be fantastic.
I don't know why I can't. I was trying to find number of pitches he's thrown in each start, but the column's just blank.
Shout out to Bridge of October, said 66 on Sunday.
Thank you.
Had more than that the start before, around 75. Chances are he doesn't get more than 80. Yeah, it's kind of where I'm at.
All right. Then 6 2/3 is a lot.
Yeah,
especially if we have seven punches involved. I'm gonna drop it down to 5 2/3. 5 2/3. I'm still going 7 punches though. I'm strong on that one.
I like it. I like it a lot. Rookie agrees, as you can hear.
Rookie just found out he's got a new email address. That's
Rookie's going, hey, excuse me, I've been hit with this 2-step verification security measure, and I don't know what to do. It's asking for a thumbprint, and I have a paw. Don't exactly know what I'm supposed to do. Rookie, shut up.
What do you think's going on up there? What do you think we got?
I don't know. I would ask you to stall, but you've already done that for me. So we're just going to talk about letting it eat.
I blacked out. I don't even know what I said.
That was pretty much me for the duration of your honeymoon that you were on.
Sure.
Yeah.
4 episodes.
Yeah. It was just nothing but blackout 4 episodes. Let's talk about...
Yeah, sure. Is he up there alone, or is Meredith home?
He's up there by himself.
There you go.
That's tough.
There you go.
I don't think this has ever happened on this show.
Actually, surprisingly, yeah, because he just turned 1.
He just turned 1 on Sunday.
That's a good stretch. Let's get into, what are we getting into next? Let me see if I can carry us for...
Let's talk about what was really going to be the headline for the show was how these Japanese stars have absolutely taken center stage in baseball. And Shohei Ohtani, we know, obviously, for one. Yoshinobu Yamamoto is settling in very nicely following a rough start, as we all know at this point. Mm-hmm. And really, the story, I think, is Shota Imanaga. I think they are just... Or I think he, rather, is off to the most surprising start. Because you know what Shohei's going to do, although I don't think we saw this coming. You know Yamamoto is going to give you quality performances night in and night out when he takes them out. But Shota Imanaga My goodness, what a run he's on. And I'm going to talk more about that when I get back. So maybe carry us for a little longer, shall we?
Yeah, you'll take the Imanaga stuff. I did see a Nugget. Well, I saw a tweet from Nugget Chef. Shout out to Nugget Chef on Twitter or X at JHeyKid. Said that Yamamoto went more than 6 innings pitched for the first time last night. He tweeted this today. So he's talking about his start on Tuesday. Even making it 6 innings pitched is much rarer than it even was just a decade ago. Percentage of starts with 6+ innings league wide. In 2014, it was 63%. 2019, it was 42%. So far in 2024, it's 39%. That is a bigger issue to me. I don't want to take away from Yamamoto, but like that's an absolutely embarrassing, absurd number. But good for Yamamoto. I think the unfortunate thing for Yamamoto is that there are so many Dodger haters out there. There's so many people that are just like, I'm kind of in that boat. Like I get it. Like I'm kind of sick of just every year there's some new superstar joining the roster, and every year it's kind of the same ending. But like it's not fair to Yamamoto. It's not fair for us to just write him off or suddenly, not want to watch Dodger games. Like it's a little, I was saying it's unfair for Yamamoto because of the fact that like so many baseball fans that just aren't interested in watching Dodgers games because of the Dodgers being the Dodgers. But like for us, we need to be able to appreciate what Yamamoto is and what he's doing. I think take away like your Dodger hate and get into his starts and watch him pitch. The guy pitches. The guy is good. So get over the Dodger hate and appreciate him.
Yeah. Sorry, I missed your couple minutes of Dodger talk there, but let's start.
I was talking more just like I was reading off that Nugget Chef post on Twitter about like we're under 40% of starts so far this year have gone over 6 innings. Just absurd. But it was in reference to Yamamoto's start on Tuesday going +6 for the first time.
Wait, not 40% this season.
Said so far this year, it's at 39%.
Right. Comparatively to the 63.5 that was listed
back in 10 years ago. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of appreciating Dodgers, let's get to what, again, as I mentioned, was what was going to be the original point or the original headline of this episode before the Skenes news broke, and that's just this trio, this 3-headed monster that we're talking about, that we're dealing with here. You mentioned the Dodgers, Shohei and Yamamoto. Shohei Ohtani is playing on a different planet right now, and I know that gets run into the ground. The unicorn moniker, I get that. Believe me, I understand. But Shohei Ohtani just hitting is on a different level, even from where he has been.
Yeah.
And I understand just hitting, you remove an element, a facet of what he brings to the table altogether in pitching. But I don't know, dude. Do you think there's any degree that the Dodgers are looking at this going, maybe we stop trying to force the issue and just let this guy hit? Because right now, he's leading, entering today, Wednesday. He's leading all of baseball in home runs, batting average, doubles, slugging, OPS plus, total bases. Oh, and by the way, he's tied for ninth. He's tied for ninth in all of baseball in stolen bases. Joey from Baseball Doesn't Exist tweeted out, the highest WAR for a DH in MLB history is a 7 WAR. Edgar Martinez back in 1995. Shohei Ohtani is on pace to have an 11.7 WAR. The highest in history for a DH. He's on pace to surpass that by 4.7.
Yeah, like he's passing that with like an all-star player. Like he's worth Edgar plus an all-star. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And he's flirting. He's, as of right now, the number's a little fuzzy. I'd have to go back and confirm the actuality of this. But last I checked, he's flirting with like a 50-40 pace.
Yeah. What's crazy is that I don't know if things have changed since like transitioning to full-time DH. I've heard that like there are times where he doesn't even really take BP. Like he doesn't really do like on-field stuff. May do a little T work in the cages, like in the tunnel, but that's about it. Like he's an alien. He's an alien. Like I don't know. This is all uncharted territories. Every time he does something, it's uncharted. So at the same time, it's like, can you just walk away from what he's able to do on the mound? Like, are you okay just saying no to that? Do you at least have to see how it goes? Do you turn him into, I don't know. Like it's weird and crazy and cool to watch. And also I'm jealous and all of that.
For the record, I'm not suggesting that the Dodgers do that. I'm just throwing it out there because it's notable to the point where you have to at least ask the question, like, do they just let this guy hit? Because he is on a torrid pace right now.
Yeah.
And it's fun to watch. I tell you what, I think I'm tuning into more Dodgers games now as of late than I ever have, just to watch. Honestly,
yeah.
even beyond Ohtani, just like that trio at the top of Betts, Freeman, Ohtani, and then I catch the occasional Yamamoto start. Like
well, that's the thing. That's the thing is that like, you know, and it's not just the top of the order, it's the entire depth of this lineup that the Dodgers have. And you know, like say what you will about the Angels, even when they were going good, even when, you know, it is Trout and Ohtani back to back and the rest of the lineup looks okay, this lineup is still better. And any pitcher that is working their way through this lineup at least twice is more exhausted than they were when he was an Angel. So it is about like, can a pitcher stay focused for each guy? Can a pitcher stay on this scouting report to get each guy out? And the harder that, you know, that is for a better hitting lineup, the better that is on a scenario for Ohtani. Pitchers are working. They're working to get through this lineup. And you have 3 guaranteed Hall of Famers in there. You could argue that some could be. I don't know what Will Smith is going to be when it's all said and done. Or Max Muncy. But, like, you have just an exhausting amount of depth. And 2 incredible hitters with Mookie and Freddie, you know, surrounding him. It's absurd, man. It's absurd.
Well, let's talk about Yamamoto real quick. His last outing last night, I watched that one. Went 8 innings, which was the longest start in his career, his young Major League Baseball career. By 2 innings actually. His career long before that was 6. I say career. I know, small sample size, but still impressive. I mean, 8 innings. Gave up 2 on 5 hits, 5 Ks, 0 walks. I mentioned this guy settling in nicely. And boy, is he. His ERA is down to 2.79. And since his debut in the Korea series, has only given up 8 runs in 41 innings for a 1.76 over that stretch.
I think if you go back to that episode, I told you not to worry. It's all good. And here it is. Proof's in the pudding. He is officially settled in.
The amount of just erroneous comparisons, talking like it'll be the stat head comparisons where you got like Yamamoto, Logan Webb, and whoever else that these people on social media want to compare, and it's like the Dodgers paid how much for this guy, and it's like
quickly
sure,
forgotten already.
Yeah, very much so. It's like you can't look at a sample size. I understand it's easy to get your quick cheap shots in early if you're a Dodgers hater. I understand that. But like understand that this guy's going to be around for a long time, and I would venture to say that the guy, not to throw strays at like a guy like Trevor Williams or anything, but if there's a Nats fan out there that's trying to compare like Trevor Williams's 2024 start to Yamamoto as being like, look how much money we're saving not having to dish out 300 plus million for a guy like Trevor Williams. I'm just gonna go out on a limb here and plug in any name. Again, not just throw strays at Trevor Williams. Plug in any name that you want to compare that people are trying to get like cheap shots at or with. I'm gonna go out on a limb and venture to say that a guy like Yoshinobu Yamamoto is going to have a far better career and a much longer career than whoever it is that you're plugging into the equation or the comparison. That's a pretty safe bet.
Yeah. Yep. Talked about this before, man. Like we've never been more analytical. We've never been able to track stuff more than we are now. And we know that velo and spin rate are key. You know, those are the big variables that we're looking at. And baseball doesn't lie. Like the ball doesn't lie. And you can see that. I love the move, dude. I love what these guys are doing for Japanese baseball and maybe even Asian baseball in general. Like, get them over here. Like, you can see success. You can see the translating from league to league is working.
The gap is narrowing for sure.
Yeah. And I know that, two of these names, it's still a very short sample size, but like it is really, really good to see. It wasn't just some, lightning in a bottle situation with Ichiro or Hideki Matsui. You know what I mean? Like now we have multiple guys competing at the top of the league, leading leagues in some categories. I know they're on the NL, but like it's still this movement that I think is hopefully going to bring down this wall of worry that we once had with guys coming into this league. So I'm here for it. It's crazy to see. It sucks that two of these three names are on the Dodgers, but get over that. If you're a baseball fan, like just enjoy what they're doing because it is absurd.
Well, you mentioned velocity, which is a perfect transition into who I really, really wanted to talk about because I don't feel like we've given him enough appreciation on this podcast to this point in the season. Shota Imanaga, 7 starts, 41 2/3, 43 Ks, an ERA of 1.08. and a whip of 0.82. He's your National League Rookie of the Month for the month of April. And by the way, his average velocity for his fastball, 92.1.
Yes, sir.
92.1. And this is what I wanted to touch on. I was excited about this. His four-seamer has the highest run value of all pitches across baseball. In other words, his 92.1 mile an hour fastball is the most valuable pitch in baseball. And I believe second in line was Tyler Glasnow. Yeah. I want to say it was like does he have a cutter? I want to say maybe it was a cutter. Maybe it was four-seam.
I think he's cutter sinker guy, but I could be wrong.
That's what we're dealing with at this point in the season. Shota Imanaga is dealing. And not just that, the thing that I love that I've seen, and I've watched a handful of his starts already, the energy, man. I don't know how much or how little you've caught of this guy, but he has the fire after he rings somebody up on a big strikeout, he lets you know. He's walking off the mound letting you know just exactly who he is. So like I'm about it. And on the flip side, he's got that respect element to him. Like I saw a video today that showed that when the umpire throws back like a ball after, say, like a foul ball, for example, they got to cycle in a new baseball.
Yeah.
He bows to the home plate umpire before he throws it back to him.
So sick.
So like he's the full package, man. He's gonna go out there and dice. He's gonna bring the juice, but he's also gonna go, hey, Mr. Umpire, I respect you. I appreciate you for coming out here on this sunny Sunday, spending your time out here among us baseball players. I thank you for your time. I thank you for your service. Like, come on, man. This guy's the real deal.
It is crazy cool. It is really cool to see. To answer your question from before, Glasnow's four seam is in here.
Four seamer.
But he's at 9. So like there's an entire 2-run value higher than the next closest. He's tied with Corbin Burns at with his cutter at 9. Then you have a group of 3 with 8, group of 4 with 7. All fastballs. But it comes to show that, like, you know, we don't need to be obsessed with velocity. It just comes down to pitching and deception. And that, I think, Imanaga is a master at.
Opponents are hitting $140 off his four seam, which is 6th in all of baseball. He did have a quote that I came across in digging around for some notes that I just loved. He said, I guess in just talking about his time in the majors and kind of what his main takeaways are. He said, it's just a result of thinking about how can I get to the level of MLB pitchers? I know that for me, it's going to be hard to beat them based on velocity. So if I have something else where I can not even necessarily try to get ahead of them, but just be even with them, that's what I want. So the awareness is already there. He knows, like, I'm not going to go out there and blow up by anybody.
Yeah.
I need to use craftiness. I need to use deception.
Yeah.
And in regards to the deception, I don't know if you've seen any overlays of his four seam versus splitter. It's disgusting, dude.
Yeah.
It's gross. So he doesn't even
looks
need
identical until the last like 10 feet.
The bottom just falls right out. It's refreshing. I'll say that, to see a guy just go out there, like you said, just go out there and pitch instead of throw. And this is proof that it can be done, and that it can be done well and consistently.
Yeah.
Over the course of many starts.
And it's proof that, like, the ideology isn't the same. You know what I mean? Like the philosophy, I don't know what youth baseball looks like over there. I don't know what the process looks like over there. But like it is proof that the art still exists. And I know, like, it's gonna have like this old head, you know, get off my lawn type conversation about it. But, like, you know, the David Cohns, the John Smoltzes, like the guys that are in broadcasting that very much lived in that and played in that generation of pitching is pitching, without, you know, radar guns being the main focus. Those guys have to be more involved in baseball. And again, it's got to be a philosophical change. It's got to be an organizational shift of what pitching needs to look like, and it needs to start all the way down at the bottom and stop, you know, the obsession with radar guns. What'd you give him before? As a little peanut butter treat?
Gave him a little peanut butter.
Frozen peanut butter, huh?
Clean that up peanut quick. Butter. Yeah, Meredith's home, so we're good. Hopefully it gets squared away. Goodness, I apologize to our listeners for that. That's he lets you know, man. The whole neighborhood knows when he's not happy.
He's got a deep voice now.
He's growing up, man. He's growing up before our eyes. Talking about growing up before our eyes, the Washington Nationals. How about it? What? this is what I told you. This is what I told you. I was on record before opening day saying, hey, look, let's not jump the gun on the Nationals here. We're not going to give them the crown, the division crown, but let's look at this rationally. And I did, and I don't recall, did Ryan was kind of in the same camp with me, right? I don't know if you were.
Yeah. I mean, I'm removed from the area. I think it's a geographical bias, but it's okay. That's all right. And to be fair, Ryan was, he played in that organization. I think he knows a lot of different names in there. So I don't know. I do know the one name that I know that jumps out to me is CJ Abrams. Like, the guy's popping off. I think he's probably made the biggest leap offensively of any other player in the league. We won't talk defense. I don't know if the defense is shaped up at all. Saw a lot of errors last year at short. But, like, if you just let the kid be himself, give him a place to play. Sorry, Padres.
That was a guy that I was excited about. And the Nationals fans that are in the area that I talk to, whenever they want to talk baseball, we're talking Nats, they're going, like, what do I have to be excited about? I'm like, and this was like a year or two ago. And I was like, just be patient. Like, you all are getting solid returns for these guys that you're just shipping out, and it's going to take some time, but, like, just sit tight. And I know that there's still some philosophical approaches in that organization that maybe need to be addressed to fully unlock the potential that this team has, and will continue to foster as time goes on and they start hopefully making more additions. But yeah, CJ Abrams was a guy that I was excited about. Mackenzie Gore, I think I was maybe a little higher on, just because.
Yeah, that was a popular name when it went down.
Yeah, I saw glimpses of what he was able to do in San Diego, and I'm like, maybe he gets something cooking up there in DC. Off to a little bit of a slow start. Like, he's serviceable right now. Like, he's certainly contributing. But CJ Abrams, man, I'll tell you what, man, seven homers, 19 ribbies, an OPS of 888. And the whole reason I wanted to bring up the Nationals anyway is they were making a little history of their own. The first time that they had reached above the 500 mark since they were 40-39 in July of 2021.
That's such a rough nugget.
It's unfortunate, but it speaks to what I hope.
Good for them.
Is the strides that they're making.
They got Dylan Cruz in the hopper, right? Like, is he? I haven't really paid attention much. Is he working his way up? Is he?
Last I saw, he was, because I was bummed, man. I wanted to go catch him in Fredericksburg because they're not too far. But I don't think he stayed there long. But let me check to see what the latest on him is. But yeah, that's just more evidence as to what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, keep working, keep advancing, keep building,
guys. So currently he's hitting 246 with a 771 at AA. He's got 15 ribbies, 2 bombs. So
he's most likely gonna be there for a while.
Keep chipping away, Dylan Cruz.
May not see him this year, but you never know. Either way, I think there's a lot to be excited about. They're putting some stuff together.
Yeah, I mean, they beat the best team in the American League in the Orioles in Game 1 of this Beltway series, the All City Connect series, if you will. That was interesting.
It didn't look bad.
I didn't hate it.
I'm on record. I'm a big Nats City Connect fan.
Yeah,
those are the jerseys those are on point.
Yeah, like when you want to talk about connecting to a city, that's what they do.
Job well done. Yeah.
We'll get into a city that did not do that. But yeah, you got CJ Abrams, Luis Garcia. He's hitting 330, 3 bombs, and this is of course all entering today, Wednesday. 330, 3 bombs, 19 ribbies, 885 OPS. I mentioned Trevor Williams. Trevor Williams, I think, is the story of the team right now, even possibly more so than CJ Abrams with his last outing. He's 4-0 on the season, over 7 starts. He's got an ERA of 1.96, 30 Ks, a whip of 106, and opponents are hitting just 209 against him. So the biggest improvement I would say for Trevor Williams is the home runs allowed. I'm sure if you've been following his season thus far, you've seen that nugget that last year he allowed the most home runs among all NL pitchers, and he is the only qualified starter who has yet to give up a home run this year. So that
he'll be pitching for a contender this postseason, I think.
That's a guy that I'm excited about, because you hear about these guys having renaissance seasons or renaissance-esque seasons, and it's like, has Trevor Williams found something? Whether it be mechanically, I think a lot of something that gets swept under the rug a lot is mentally. Like, I think people just go, okay, let's look at the tape, let's see what needs to be fixed. That's not always the case. A lot of times for these guys, whether regardless which side of the ball you're on, it can be a mental thing. Yeah. So maybe it's for Trevor Williams, it's overcoming the fear of attacking guys in a certain part of the zone that enables him to eliminate the long ball time after time during his outings. So you never know. That could be the case for him. But whatever it is, he's figured it out. And then you've got on the back end, you've got Kyle Finnegan, who's secured 12 out of 13 saves this year. So I mean, they could be in the mix, for like, I mean, you got Greg on the stream asking if the Nats are a wild card dark horse.
Can't go that far.
I mean, that's as, but can you, like, is it possible though? Because that's as far out on the fringes as you can be. Like, you're not saying, possible. Hey, are they a dark horse to win the East in that division? Yeah. No.
I mean, it's not that it's not I don't think it's impossible. It's just like the depth of the NL East and the NL West make that conversation much more difficult. I think if they're smart, if Izzo, is smart with Rizzo, the GM.
Oh yeah, Rizzo. Yep.
Rizzo. I think if he's smart, like, you got to recognize. I haven't looked into numbers, but I do feel like Jesse Winker has kind of found a little bit of a resurgence. You got to recognize some of these veterans and like move them when the value is hot. Trevor Williams being a perfect example. He's set to be a free agent next year. He's 32. Like, he can fill into a rotation for a contender at some point. Like, you got to be able to turn and burn some of these guys and can, continue to build the farm up a little bit. So I think it makes more sense to do that than just have like let's add at the deadline to get bounced in the first round. Like, let's just, be realistic of who we are, look in the mirror, flip what we can flip, and just keep building and like get the momentum going again organizationally. But I do, applaud them for what they're doing, and a lot to be excited about.
Not to be excited about for the Cardinals. Willson Contreras is going to be out for 6 weeks. Had a nasty run-in with the barrel of JD Martinez. I don't know if you saw the video, but that was...
I did.
Ugly.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm surprised it's going to be it's just 6 weeks. Like, that looks like... I mean, that was brutal.
Honestly, I feel bad for Willson Contreras. I really do. The treatment he's gotten since heading over to St. Louis it's been strange. It's been really strange. It seems like he's been willing to change what he's doing and how he's going about his catching style. Like, he's been open to stuff. Shout out John Denton on X talking about some of the improvements that Willson Contreras has made strike rate wise In 2023, he was at a 44.3%, which ranked 44th in baseball. This year so far is at a 48%, which ranks 12th in baseball. Catcher framing runs. Last year, he was -5, 56 in baseball. This year, he's at 0, tied for 21st in baseball. He's made adjustments. The problem is that, like, I don't know if the organization cares that these adjustments have now put him at risk multiple times. We saw last year he got hit in the head on the follow through. Him working closer to the plate to try and get the bottom of the strike zone, to try and make it look better for umpires, has been the main issue behind this. Not to mention the whole weirdness of, like, removing him as a catcher, making him a full-time DH, then bringing him back. Like, the poor guy has just not had the best time in St. Louis. Now, I don't know what's going on with that organization, and I don't really want to pull at that thread right now, but I feel for him because all he's doing and all he's been doing is just following instructions on what they're coaching and what they're teaching. And this is a result of it. And it is a perfect storm of a guy who, you know, JD Martinez sits at the very back of the box and tries to see the ball as late as he can with a Willson Contreras who's, you know, scooting up closer as he goes. But ugly, dude. Really ugly. I think this is a whole can of worms, man. Like, I think there's MLBPA that's going to step in for some type of rule adjustment. I think stuff needs to be kind of cracked down a little bit. I've heard multiple people talk about this, so this isn't like any kind of new take. I've heard this in different podcasts and different articles, but, like, you know, every hitter for the most part is trying to get to the back of the box. The higher this velo has gotten, the deeper they've tried to get in the box. And I don't know if you did it when you were playing. I know I did it, but, like, when you get in there, if the line is still there, if that chalk line is still in the back of the box, you're digging that thing out. And you're going to convince the umpire that I'm just getting my footing, but, like, you're getting rid of that line and you're trying to work your way back. And every hitter does that for the most part. But I think there's got to be some type of crackdown, some type of weird thing. And apparently the rule is that if any part of your foot is touching the chalk line, you are legally in the box. I don't like it. This is the microcosm. I'll go back to the same guy, John Denton, talking about he writes for the Cardinals, by the way, on Twitter. It's John Denton 555. He wrote, to help catchers get more low strikes for pitchers, MLB teams have coaxed catchers into getting closer. This has led to far more catchers interference calls per MLB research. In 2023, catchers interference called every 50.6 games. So far, there's been one every 32 games this year. Shout out Baseball Rules Academy. Catchers interference has increased exponentially over the years. In 2002, there were 9 such calls the entire season, 2002. In 2022, there were 74 violations. And last year in 2023, there were 97. This is an issue. It's the combination of, again, velo, hitter scooting back, coaching catchers to scoot closer to try and catch the bottom of the zone. There's got to be some kind of adjustment, and I don't know what it's going to be. But you know what I was thinking? And this is weird. You know how you see that, like, 3D, like the strike zone, but it's like the profile view and it's the box where it shows, like, the back of the zone?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Have you ever wondered why it's perfectly straight up? Why is that box not here? Like, if you think of an elevated mound,
it's true, yeah.
Why wouldn't that box be tilted with the natural fall and gravity of a pitch? You know what I mean?
That's
now I know that like
yeah.
umpires aren't thinking of the depth of a strike zone necessarily, but like maybe there just needs to be some adjustments on how we look at this stuff, and how we're coaching it. But I mean, I remember when it was like catcher's interferences were rare, where it was like maybe they caught the lace. This was halfway up the wrist. This was so high up.
And a guy like JD Martinez, who notoriously looks to take the ball the other way, pepper the ball into the right center gap as a righty, is going to have a little bit of more drag on the bat path than maybe somebody else would, who's trying to get to the ball much quicker. He loves peppering that right side, and he's already as far back as you can be. So he's gonna do everything he can to see that ball as deep as he can.
And you've seen, I mean, it's just overall catchers being hit. You've seen it more and more. I've never really seen so much of like the backswing catching, like the back of the head or the shoulder, or like it's hitting catchers. If you watch enough games, you'll see it multiple times a week. Marcell Ozuna is notorious for it. I watched Soto do it the other day. Obviously, they're apologetic for the most part, and like they don't mean to. But like this, now we're talking player safety. And like there has to be precedent. Willson Contreras is now, unfortunately, that first one through the frontier of like, now we're losing one of the top offensive guys in the lineup for the Cardinals for a long time. And I agree. I don't think 6 weeks is going to be long enough.
I didn't want to spend too much time on this, but it was worth noting the name Monte Harrison. If that means anything to you, listening at home, what a wild story.
I'm excited to hear the rest of it. This is nuts.
All right. So the article I was reading, I want to say it was ESPN article. I just pulled just to make it easy for the background, because I imagine that not as many people had heard about this. But it said that less than 2 years removed from his last MLB appearance with the Los Angeles Angels, he plans to walk on at Arkansas as a receiver with the Razorbacks. Harrison, 28, was a 4-star recruit who committed to the Nebraska Cornhuskers as part of the class of 2014. But after the Milwaukee Brewers drafted him in the second round of the 2014 MLB draft, he embarked upon a career in professional baseball. He ended up making it to the big leagues in 2020, the COVID season. Played with the Marlins. Didn't do very well. Played a little bit in 21, played a little bit in 22, and then finished his tenure in baseball with the Brewers AAA, Nashville Sounds. So he's been out for a little under 2 years now, and has decided that he is going to take his talents to college football. So don't know how that's going to happen. I do know what is interesting, though, is that according to Aram Layton 8 on X on Twitter, said the Marlins return for the Christian Yelich deal is as follows. Lewis Brinson, currently playing in the Mexican League. Isan Diaz plays for the Lancaster Barnstormers of the Atlantic League. Monte Harrison will now be playing college football. And Jordan Yamamoto is the head baseball coach at Dwyer High School. So that deal is officially bookended.
Man. That's such a tough look.
I'm going to go ahead and say the Brewers won that deal.
Yeah. Yep. That's a dub. I'm assuming he was drafted. Yeah. Monte.
Yeah. The 2014 draft. Yep. By the Brewers.
What pick?
Second round. I don't have the pick. He was a second rounder.
Well, if it's that high, I'm assuming, higher education is included. If you forgo getting your degree to go, with the organization in baseball, most organizations will cover your education afterwards. So it's not crazy to see a guy go back to school. Why not, dude? If you still got some athleticism, like we saw J.R. Smith, but grew up in high school. Yeah, but I get that.
We're talking about college football in the SEC.
Still got it in you. Why not? Why not? What do you got to like? What else are you gonna do? You know what I mean? You're not gonna get drafted. He knows he's not gonna go to the NFL. But like you're in school,
He knows he.
What
I
else?
mean, yeah. To your point, he knows he can't. He clearly can't hang at the big league level, which isn't a knock on him. Like it's more self awareness than anything. Like, hey, let me milk what little athletic ability I have at this age, at 28, and use it for good.
Why not? Like, hey, that was a rough road, but I always dreamt of playing college football, and I'm going back to school anyway. Let's see what we can do.
Even as a walk-on, I'm gonna go ahead and say that running out Saturday night under the lights in front of an SEC crowd is probably a little bit better than playing 3, 4, 5 games in Nashville a week.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Like to be 10 years older than some teammates.
That's wild.
Like,
That is crazy.
Cops crash the party at the frat house and everyone scatters, but like you don't need to go anywhere because you're, old enough to have plenty of money put away in your 401k. Like you're
like their uncle. You're like, yeah, it's fine. Officers, I'll take care of this. Don't worry, I'll clean it up.
That's a crazy story. I hope he gets on the field. I need to see a tutty or two out of him. Something.
Need that. Need it. You know what I don't need, and I'm sure you don't need either. These Tiger City Connect uniforms. I mean, come on. Like I don't want to talk very long about this, and I'm gonna hold us to that because it's not worth talking about. But I mean, this has to be a new low. Like they didn't even try. You just slap Detroit on the hat, which by the way, the hat isn't being talked about enough because they're like, oh,
so bad.
You've got the tiger's eyes under the brim. Sick. Glad we can see those from watching on TV and in the ballpark. Glad we can see that. That's a real benefit to the uniforms. And then the tire tracks. We get it. Motor City. Come on, dude. Like, take another route. And for you to say, like, oh, well, like, that's what the city's known for. We already talked about it. The Washington Nationals, the nation's capital. The easy, lazy pick would have been to intertwine some sort of like political, patriotic,
flag,
government like angle, like what? Yeah, the flag, whatever angle you want to take there. That would have been the easy the easy route to take. But like, no, we're actually gonna try here and think outside the box. Clearly, they were up against the deadline for these uniforms because they're just like, think anything you can think of with cars, throw it on there and send it out.
I don't think anyone works in the Nike baseball department. I think it's just AI.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
Painful.
That's
painful.
That's right.
Like even you see the pic with Eminem.
Yeah, even he looked confused.
Even he was rocking the old school D hat. Like he didn't even want to put that other hat on.
I thought the picture horrendous. I saw. No, I thought the picture I saw he had it on there.
Nah, he had the old English D. At least the picture I saw. He still had the jersey. He still had the Motor City jersey, but I don't know. Just bad, dude. Just bad. It's the same old. It's rinse repeat. I put out that tweet. It's the same checklist. Every jersey.
Oh, he is wearing the English D. He's like, yeah, I don't want this crap.
Yeah.
I don't want this at all. Unbelievable. Yeah, so we don't have to spend too much time on it. It's lazy, and I'm just so done. I'll be so glad when these are over.
Me too.
I'm done. They're not good, and I'm tired of talking about it because it's just like we have to talk about it because we have to talk about everyone that comes out to be fair to all the teams. But like, I'm just tired of being negative about them because they suck.
Yeah.
Like they actually suck, with the exception of like a few that we've seen, but. It's lazy. We get it. Motor City, cars, Detroit. We get it. Weekend series to watch. But first. That's my new breaking news sound. Just a little FYI, giving you a little teaser. So prepare yourself.
Going on.
prepare yourself. If we get breaking news, that's what you're getting hit with. Breaking news: the tickets have been confirmed.
All right.
Via
What's
SeatGeek.
What's the qualifications for the giveaway? Let the people know.
They gotta tag somebody. What did I just put the tweet out? They have to tag who you'd go with.
Easy enough.
On my Twitter. So go check it out.
It's not even bad.
And I will pick somebody on Thursday. Weekend series to watch. I'm going Dodgers at the Padres. Tyler Glasnow versus Michael King. Game 1, 9:40 p.m. Eastern.
That's the one.
Game 2. James Paxton versus Matt Waldron, 8:40 p.m. Eastern. And Game 3, Walker Buehler versus Yu Darvish, 4:10 p.m.
That's the other one. Yeah, got to catch 2 out of 3 of those. Those are good games. Solid choice, my friend. I don't know if anyone else is looking at matchups this weekend. It's Slim Pickens. Big fall off after that. So I tried to pick 2 teams that are kind of hot recently. Let's go Yanks in Tampa. We got Clark Schmidt going against, is it Littell? Lytle?
I think it's Littell.
Littell. That sounds nice. 2 T's, 2 L's. I'm going to go Littell. Game 1, Nestor Cortez going game 2 on Saturday in classic Rays fashion. We don't know who's pitching Saturday or Sunday because that's how they roll. With Luis Gil finishing up the series with the Yankees, who has been diamonds so far. Real good. Had that in my bold predictions segment with Bleacher Report before the season.
Sure did.
Yeah.
You sure did.
Tried to say it.
Speaking of predictions, quick update on our bet. If you haven't been following on social media, the wager was confirmed, and you can see it on my Twitter. It was confirmed that the loser is going to have to wear a Billy Bean-esque fit. So it's an Oakland A's gold / yellowish polo and an green athletics visor. And the loser's gonna have to wear that every episode until the All-Star break. And again, the wager was that they played a doubleheader today, so they'll have 4 games in the books. But going back 4 games, we had decided from last episode, we had said that over the next 14 games, if they could go 500 or better, that I would win the bet. And if they would go under 500, because I was of the belief like, hey, maybe the A's actually aren't as bad as we think they are. Like, they're still going to be bad, but maybe they're not as bad as we think. And then Nate had the idea of making a bet. Like, let's just jump right into it. And so sure enough, we did. Is the second game over? They won.
Not yet. Top 6.
They won the game
they're
today.
Losing 7-6 to the Rangers.
They won the third, the third game of the bet today. So
they're 1-2.
They're 1-2. About to. I mean, if the game ended right now, they'd be 1-3. But hopefully, they can pull one out here, even it up. It is Nate's birthday today, so we're gonna wrap this up. He's got to get to a nice little dinner here, so I don't want to keep him any longer. So make sure to wish Nate a happy birthday. We do have
thank you.
We do have a few happy birthday wishes. Mama Reyes on the IG said happy birthday to my favorite baseball player of all time. We got some happy birthday Nates. Happy birthday, my guy Nate. All the best birthday wishes. Lay off the curveballs. Happy birthday salute. We got some wishes on here for you. So hopefully,
I appreciate it. Thank you guys.
The people are showing their appreciation to you.
Also, oddly fitting that I turned 31 on episode 431. That's pretty crazy.
Love that.
Nice little nugget there.
Love it. So yeah, happy birthday. Hope you enjoy the dinner that you're gonna be getting to very shortly. So we're gonna wrap this up. You got anything else for the folks?
Man, Life is good. Life is good. Don't go chasing curveballs, guys.
We love you all, and as always, looking forward to talking more baseball with you guys soon. Until next time, stay filthy.